Welcome to Enjoy Fort Wayne. This episode is brought to you by the Wailanai Farmers Market and highlights the 350 vendors that make up the #1 market in the state of Indiana.
Kyla Walters with Soul High Studios.
Okay, so how long has that been in existence?
Soul High Studios has only been alive for a good year. It's
Okay.
its anniversary this October.
Wow. Okay. So tell me a little bit more about yourself. Are you from Fort Wayne?
Yes, I am. The fort.
I don't know if the camera caught that, but I caught it. There was an eye roll. What? You don't like being from?
I mean, it's okay. I just need to get out. I need to go see other things.
That's fair. You are.
But it's safe here.
Yeah, but you are what most vendors and most listeners would say, a youngin'.
A youngin'.
So that's fair. I got out. I'm originally from California. Been here pretty much my whole life, though, since I was a kid. But I had to get out in my 20s. So I definitely get it.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. What is the one thing that you can point to maybe that would say, okay, this is why I'm here. This is kind of what got started me in this journey of being a vendor, being an entrepreneur, being, working for yourself, having a product. Is there something you can point to?
Yes, I got into a car accident and I lost my job, my car and everything, and I realized I didn't want to be a part of the system anymore. And I've always felt like I needed to be an entrepreneur. I could not keep a job, man. When I tell you I could not keep a job, I could not keep a job, and I thought something was wrong with me. Then I figured out my spirit is just too big. I have a big purpose. So I got into aromatherapy because I was healing my son at home. I'm all about healing naturally, holistically. And I started healing him, making my own mixtures, and then I just started selling them.
So tell me about that a little more. You said aromatherapy and things like that. How did you first get started? Like, did you read something? Did someone sell you something? Like, what happened?
My stepmom owns a spa called Tranquil Touch, and I grew up working with her, and they always believed in heal yourself from the gut out. You can do it yourself. You can heal yourself with plants. It's all possible. Then I had a son, and I was like, oh, my God, these doctors are like
trying to do all this stuff.
Yeah, and then boom, I was just thinking I can do it myself, and then I did.
So now walk me through when you got to the point where you're like, okay, I'm not only using this for my personal and like for my baby, but this is something that I'm going to do now as to make money and to help other people and stuff. Was that right away the same? Or,
No.
Okay, so what happened?
I've been using mixtures for 7 years, but last year or the past 3 years, I've been using these little car fresheners I found on Pinterest. And I was just like, this is brilliant. I learned about car fresheners, all the stuff that's inside of candles and all these air fresheners. So I started making car fresheners. People started talking about them. I would drive up to Starbucks and people would be like, what's that thing hanging? And then I started walking around with a bag of them, selling them downtown at events. And boom, car fresheners started my whole Soul High Studios. Can you believe that?
Not really. So you're lying.
No.
So what were sales like good right away? I mean, to the point where you're like, wow, and then just keep going? Or was it a struggle at first or what?
They've been good right away. I also started during holiday season, so it's always been great. There were times where I only had car fresheners to sell at these vendor events, and I was still making the same amount of money I would make if I had my body oils and my shower freshies and all that stuff.
So, okay, you mentioned a couple other things there, and that's what I wanted to ask you next. Can you just quickly run through and give kind of a general, like, what are all the things that you sell?
So I started with the car fresheners. People like those blends so much that I created a body oil, which you can use head to toe, an all-purpose spray, which is room, car, body spray. I also have my favorite roll-ons. They're like a perfume roll-on type of thing. Or I tell people for the healing ones, put them on your feet because your feet have the biggest pore on your body. So definitely put them on your feet. Your feet will soak them up. If you're starting to get sick, it will draw the toxins out. And then I sell my favorite ultimate detox tea. So bath tea. I started with the bath tea and I started with the car fresheners. I've been making the bath tea since my baby was little. I created a mixture that would help him when he was in the bath and his nose was draining. His whole body was draining in the bath. So I was like, people need to see this. And those are the products that I sell.
Wow. A lot.
I know. And it's not even that much. I be looking at other people's booths like, dang, I need more products. But it's a lot.
That sounds like a lot.
It is a lot. It really is when you think about it.
What is your best seller then?
The car fresheners.
Okay.
And the roll-ons.
Okay.
They're pretty powerful.
Now, tell me your connection to the Wildlanai Farmers Market. Like, how did you get connected?
Somebody told me about this farmer's market, and I was thinking, I can be a part of a farmer's market. And I started doing some research.
Why wouldn't you think that you could?
Because I always thought that it was just fruits and vegetables.
Oh.
I thought it was literally from the farm.
That's fair. A lot of people do kind of think that. So that's fair. Okay.
Yeah. So then I found out I could actually, as long as it was handmade, then I was stalking you guys for a while. And I submitted an application. I was like, I hope I get approved. And I did get approved. And boom, now I come every Saturday. I don't miss a Saturday.
So now that we are in the winter market and you're a newer vendor, because you were only in the summer, or were you a part of the winter one yet?
No, just the summer.
So this is your first time as a winter market vendor.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you most excited about being a part of this building? You know, we were there last year in 2022, but what is the most exciting thing for you when you think of the winter market, do you think?
I don't have to set up my tent. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
So those of all vendors that are listening, they get that. But for those of you who listen to this show who are either thinking about becoming a vendor or are just a big super fan, you know, you voted for the dogs a few weeks ago. We had the dog contest. Like, for those of you that are fans, the difference between the summer and winter is huge in that you are stating that in the summer you have to bring all of your stuff week in and week out because it's Bar Street. They need their street back. Hey, guys, we need our street back. You need to go.
Yeah.
Right? And so with the winter market, they set up their tables and their tents and what have you, and they get to leave it there. And
yes.
And you can see she's very excited about this. And all you bring is your product, and you put that in a bag or a box, and you take that with you.
Yep.
But everything else stays right there, and that is a huge blessing. It sounds like.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the heat and stuff not
when
blowing
it gets
away.
super cold, like it's not cold yet.
Yes, but stuff be blowing away outside.
So that's another thing. So inside, you don't have to worry about the temperature. In the freezing times, it's a little cool, but I mean, okay, you have a jacket on, you're not going to freeze by far.
Yeah.
Everyone's body heat in that building and stuff, it's fine. But I do see what you're saying, and that is very cool. And I will say, it's not the holidays yet, but when the holidays come, like around Thanksgiving and after Thanksgiving, pre-Christmas, sales really do skyrocket. And so I know that that is something to look forward to as well. So, okay, let's talk about entrepreneurship a little bit. If someone, because you're one of the younger vendors, honestly, right? I mean,
I am.
I mean, there's people.
So, yeah.
I mean, right? There's people in their 50s and 60s that are vendors, and you're not 30 yet. So, like, you understand you're on the younger side, and so there may be people who either you went to school with or your peers who listen to this and say like, man, it's cool that she's doing it, but I'm not sure if I can. What would you tell them for people who have a good idea? They do make something. They do have an entrepreneurial mindset or are starting to, but they just, they're not quite sure. What would you tell them?
First, I tell everyone, start going out to events and being around creatives and people who are business owners, because you need to be able to see what that looks like and then figure out what it looks like for you. So find your passion and purpose, and then just talk to people at the market. Find those people on social media if you have questions, or in reality, just apply. And I mean, you can do anything. I like to tell everyone you can do anything, just set your mind to it. But as far as entrepreneurship goes, your crowd is going to be the biggest thing. That's what changed my life. That's what got me on the right direction. Just being around entrepreneurs, being around different creatives, seeing the opportunities. When you're around those people, they also hand out opportunities as well. So
I want to go back to what you said. You said a key thing was like your audience or your customer or whatever, right? Like, talk more about that. You said that they kind of made the difference. Why do you say that?
because when it's different when a stranger believes in you and believes in your product and believes in what you can do before you even get started. And they just wholeheartedly believe in you. Being able to see that and experience that changes your life. So it adds value to your own spirit. So that's why my customers matter to me. They come every Saturday. They are there. They love the farmers market. They just show up. Even when they can't show up, they just send me love. They send me messages. So those people have just changed the game. And it's more than just a business. It's about really connecting with these people.
Yeah, that's very awesome. You said a key thing in one of the prior episodes with Shelby, who does Timeless Tallow. She, off camera, we were talking about, there's a meme out there that maybe you have seen on social media that says it is easier for a client to become a friend than a friend to become a client.
That part.
And when you said, when a stranger believes in you, when a client who you don't know, they come up to your table and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I will buy that from you."
I trust you.
You've never met them before, but then sometimes you might text in a group text or something, or on a group chat or something, "Hey guys," to your friends, "Hey, come to the market. I'd love to see you." And maybe one or none show up. And it's sometimes the oddest thing that a stranger will believe in you than a friend sometimes doesn't come through. I don't want to say all the time, but there is something to be said about a stranger who, and like you said, trust you. Like, that's big time, right?
Really? Exactly.
It's huge. So yeah, I like that you said that. What is one of your favorite things about, I know we talked about transitioning now that we're on the winter side of things for the market, but as a whole, the Wild and I Farmers Market as a whole, what has been, because since you're a newer vendor, I like to hear, sometimes we have vendors who have been vending for 15 years and you ask them what their favorite thing is. It might be different than kind of, you're like the newlywed. You're you're in the puppy dog phase. So what has been your favorite thing about the market?
I love that it's a family. Every person that I've been next to, and since I'm a newer person, I do get moved around.
Sure.
My people don't know where to find me. Okay,
I have seen you at multiple spots, and that's the way it goes sometimes.
It is, but it's fun. And I've been around so many different people and businesses, and all of them are so welcoming, so nice, so helpful. I mean, I go home with free stuff almost every single time.
Same.
Literally, at this point, I just believe in it because it's going to happen. Yeah. Especially from the farmers and the people who bring the fresh fruits. They're like, eat it. My cow's going to eat it. And so I just love the family vibe and how we just all try to help each other. Like, okay, last week, my stuff kept blowing away because my tablecloth kept flying up. And people from 4 booths down witnessed this. I don't even know these people. And they brought clips to my table. And I was just like, what? Who are you? Are you an angel? Like where did you come from?
And that, by the way, is a story that we hear, that Ashley, who runs the market, and I, running the social media and stuff and being around, I hear this all the time. Like, this is just an everyday occurrence. And so to hear, though, that you get to go through that too and have that happen is like a perfect example of what the market is, what it stands for, the people that are in it. The people that Ashley approves, It's weird to say, but she doesn't just approve everyone. She doesn't,
I get it.
And so the type of person that you are matters. And so obviously we're excited that you're a part of the market. Talk through, you talked about that accident, and I kind of wanted to go back to that. Can you tell about a pain point that happened where you thought, maybe I should try to go back to a 9-to-5 job because I don't know if I can do this. Did you go through that as you were rehabbing and stuff like that?
I still go through that. As an entrepreneur, it is just a roller coaster of ups and downs, especially if you're alone. So it happens a little bit more because everything is on you and you're just thinking, wow. But I wouldn't give it up for the world. But I've definitely had, and it's not as much anymore. I've definitely had those points, especially after I got into my car accident. I was still in so much pain, trying to start a business and take care of my son. I was just thinking, is this even worth it? But my spirit wouldn't even let me quit because obviously I can't keep a job, and my spirit knew that. So I had to follow my energy, and
You had no choice.
I didn't. I'm
Basically.
telling you, it was so bad. Even my mom was just concerned.
Like you would just show up late, like to
I
the
just-
job, or like
I would be at a job for maybe a month or two, maybe. And that's because they would irritate me. And it's not even just irritation because I'm calm. I don't really let things bother me. It's just the energy for me. I'm an empath, so I feel things. And if I feel like I'm being treated less than a human, whether it's money or not, I don't deserve that, period. And I'm not going to settle just because of money. Money doesn't even exist. So, I mean, like, I'm not going to settle on my morals and how you treat me and where I'm at. And I teach my son the same thing. Whether it's money, food, whatever you need, it's going to come to you anyway. I'm not going to settle. And so that's what gets me through those pain points when I'm thinking, is this possible? Yes, it's possible, and you're going to keep going.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a lot of people that come and do the podcast have such inspiring stories, and this is definitely one of those where it's like people hear what you went through, and the person that you are still, even in spite of all that, can be very inspiring. So I really think that's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So a couple things then about Fort Wayne that I want to ask you about. A couple more questions. One, I know you're a little bit younger, but you have seen over the last 5 to 10 years Fort Wayne kind of change for sure, I would think. What is something that you think is very positive about the change and that you're excited for it to keep going that way?
I'm excited to see a lot more family functions and family oriented gatherings or buildings type of thing, like promenade being built up. I'm excited for that aspect because we do need a lot more things where children and family can come, me
Sure.
being a parent. So that's been nice watching it. And it is looking cute. They got Fort Wayne looking cute. Especially over there by the Three Rivers Apartments, by the deck and stuff. Yeah, I was just driving down there and I was looking, okay, Fort Wayne.
Like, do your thing.
Y'all look cute.
Okay. Agree for sure. It's definitely come up. What is something that you can see as a possible pain point moving forward? Like, okay, Fort Wayne, you know I love you, but if I see some trends. If we continue down this path, it's not going to be good for us as a city. Is there anything that you can point to?
Oh, yeah, in consideration of our actual population and parking downtown.
Parking downtown.
Literally, they just took away all the parking lots. Okay, especially for
Because they're building the new whatever.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, especially for important buildings, not just parking lots for restaurants or fun extracurricular places, but places where people are forced to go. They even took away some of those parking lots, and I don't like that.
So funny story, you mentioned that. So those of you that watch this and not just listen, you can see obviously that this is the first episode shot at, shout out to Soundbar Studios on Parnell. Very cool spot. And so I have this available to be able to record as well. And I bring it up because when I called you to say that we were going to be here, you said, oh, great, I don't have to worry about
Parking, because those parking control people do their job better than I've ever seen anyone on the planet do a job. It's
like, do
crazy.
I think they work on commission.
They have to. Look, you can't convince me otherwise. You got to.
No, that's funny. And I didn't say anything on the phone with you, but I didn't catch it. But now I see what you're saying. Oh, since we're here, you don't have to worry about parking because this studio just has a nice parking lot. But
Parking lot.
over there at the downtown library, you would be like, well, where am I going to park at? Okay. That is funny that you say that. So yeah, and the construction is just kind of a mess and doesn't make it better. I'm hoping like at a year from this time that we can look back and say the construction was worth it. I just don't know.
I think we're going on 10 years.
Like how
Construction in the same area.
So no, I get it. It's one of those like weird growing pains that everyone says Fort Wayne is a small, big city, or it's a big, small city,
Yes.
and it's just part of those growing pains. I
I
get
believe
it.
that.
So, okay, last question. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm so ready.
This is going to be intense. Let's say the mayor comes to you and says, I love what you're doing. I heard about you. You're fantastic. I am making a sign that's going to be big enough for the entire city to see. It's going to be on the AEP building, or I'm going to get one of those Fred Grody planes, and it's going to, everyone knows Fred Grody.
Yeah.
And you are commissioned to give the statement. What does your sign, for the whole city to see, what does it say? And go.
That is so intense. It says, we push each other to the top around here. That's what my sign says. Because if you are reminded that on a daily basis, it reminds you of all the other things. We are all connected. We all need each other. We all need each other to thrive. We are all here in the same space. And if we just live by that, Ubuntu, one is all, and we are all one, and we can live by that, we'll have so much harmony. Everything will be so beautiful around us consistently.
I love that. It reminds me of, I believe the term is, I don't know, African proverb. I don't know if that's the term, or African saying, but if you want to go, what is it? If you want to go somewhere, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with people,
Exactly.
go with, and it's like that, you kind of had that on standby. You kind of generated that really quickly. I kind of like that.
Is what I live by. If everyone lived by that, just think about the world.
And that's what's very cool about you, and getting to know you has been really cool. Tell us now where you can be found, not in the footprint of the market, because I get that changes, but if you are out of something, or if you're sick one day and can't be at the market and people want to get a hold of you, your social medias, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
My name is Kyla Walters, Kyla Walters, on all platforms, or Soul High Studios. Keep your soul high and your health wealth. And you can find me there. And then my website will be done very shortly, so then you can order as well.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks so much for being here. I love your aura.
Thank you. Thank you for your time and your energy. I'm happy to be here.
Of course, of course. And you can catch us every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Wailanai Farmers Market. The winter market is located 1501 East Berry. It is the big building where Summit Sea Brewworks is, and it is known as the Old Bun Factory. Thank you, and we will see you at the market.
Toodles.
This podcast is brought to you by Coraggio Media. The show is edited by me and sponsored by the Wailanai Farmers Market. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram for all the latest updates. We will see you next week, where we will be sure to show you how you can enjoy Fort Wayne.